And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the quarterfinals. So the round of 8 of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle number 26. We are here, we are back, we are live with a fresh best of 3. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the German Protoss player. We have the green Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player from Atlanta, Belarus, representing the Platinum Heroes. I believe, I'll have to double check that, it is Nikich. I say the Platinum Heroes, oh, and before I get ahead of myself, if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is time to get your gamma going. Predictions are open. Place your bets in the chat for who you believe will claim the series. Best of luck. Coming into this, Jumy and Nikich are quite close in skill, I would say. I think I might even, I was gonna say maybe like a month ago I would say that Nikich was favored here in this series, but as of late Jumy has been popping off. I'm still reminded, of course, of a couple of weeks ago where Jumy did defeat a laser. He took down the laser in a best of 5, and mate, if you can take down the laser, there's not many Zerg players left in Europe that you can't bring down. You know, I'm thinking of Cyril, I'm thinking of Raynor, and I'm thinking of even Lambo, but even then Lambo is comparable in skill to a laser. So Jumy's been looking quite impressive. He's been looking very impressive in the PvZ matchup specifically. We'll see how Nikich does compare. I'm here for it. I am ready for it. Whew. Oh boy, so best of luck in the chat. And I do have confirmation here that Nikich did end up leaving the Platinum Heroes. I do recall actually reporting on that not too long ago. Didn't end up leaving the team, but Nikich is still an amazing player in his own right as well. I'm here for it. I'm ready for the PvZ. Let's go. We're going to be loading into game 1 here on ley lines. A bit of a smaller map in the map pool. Shorter rush distance by ground can allow you to be a little bit more active, a little bit more aggressive. That is typically where Nikich does thrive in the mid game. Typically a more aggressive player, not really known for his late game. Likewise, I can say the same for Jumy. Jumy also not really too known for his late game. It's all about that mid game aggression. That is how he did bring down a laser with some crazy quirky builds, and also by getting into some sky toss once or twice in that series as well. That did occur at some point, but in the lead up to that, we saw Jumy go for these quirky builds, going into charge all-ins, going into glaive adepts, going into early blink timings. Jumy has a lot of variety here, is what I will say. He's got a lot of builds up his sleeve. He can be a very cheeky player, and he can get the better of you if you aren't quite able to get a scout off, if you aren't quite able to get eyes on what Jumy is up to. Speaking of, Nikich did attempt a link scout. Alas, he was shut down. Ling did fall. And we are settling in. For now, we have the Stargate opener. It's going to be the Oracle first. Not a Void Ray this time. Oracle to zoom across the map to get some scanning information. Based on the rally, Jumy, he might actually bank up Oracles instead. For the time being, we do see the Overlord is pinned here at the pillar, thanks to the Stalker, so there is no scout into the main. Likewise, we can see Jumy even trying to hunt down the Overlord. Ambitious here. Up, going for the Tumor. And it looks like he should get the Tumor. Tumor goes down. Stalker gets away. Get a little bit too early for Ling speed, so Jumy, he will be able to walk out of there, and he is banking up Oracles. A bit of a supply block, so that does slow him down for a moment here, but the goal here, because these Oracles are going to be delayed, the chances of Nikich skipping spores are higher, right? Because he's going to assume that it's not a Stargate opener, there should already be either a Void Ray or an Oracle, so this is a cheeky mind game here by Jumy. We spoke earlier, Jumy, he's all about trying to catch his opponent off guard and try to kind of work with norms or try to work against the meta in some way and try to make use of that. This is an example of that here. Now we have 2 Oracles, and now we move across the map. Now we be zooming. Jumy does move out towards the natural. We'll see what he can get done. At the same time, Lings, they do hit the third base. The Oracle's out of position. They don't have him to defend. Ooh, and Nikich, he will force a cancel. Yeah, it's a bit of a give and take here. Jumy, he's going to get some damage done, but at the same time, he's going to be losing the expansion. Does he cancel in time? Up. Ooh, does cancel. Is going to be kept on 2 bases. At the same time, Adepts shading towards the natural, getting 1 drone. I would assume here. Oh, not even. Not a single worker goes down. Jumy not really putting together his shots. Yeah, the shots, they were split. Oracles into the main. No spore. No spore in the main base. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drone kills. Rotating over. Still no spore at the third. We spoke about this no spores because of the lack of scouting. Because of the lack of the initial Oracle. Ooh. 11 drone kills. 1 Oracle goes down. Bit of miscontrol there by Jumy. Despite that, though, 1 Oracle for 11 drones. Not the worst trade from Jumy. Not the worst trade, backs off. At least Nikich is containing Jumy on 2 bases as Jumy attempts to expand elsewhere. Once again, Lings have arrived, and they're here to force another cancel. They're here to contain Jumy. Alas, says the NG overcharge, Oracle is in position to defend. Jumy does hold. A bit of a messy game state here. Nikich took a lot of hits. At the same time, Jumy's still on 2 bases. And Lings, they're back. They have returned, once again trying to force the pulsar beam to be activated. As Jumy does respond. Behind this, going to charge into Forge +1. Gateway explosion. Jumy going to be going for a charge timing behind this. Oh, Overlord being hunted down. And Jumy doesn't stop. Unrelenting once again, double depth traps, but Lings are ready for this. Nikich is keeping up. Nikich does keep up. Oh, he looks down the adepts. Nice control, saves all of his drones. Very nice movement here by Nikich. Does defend well. At the same time, Jumy, he backs up. Attempted to harass here at the base, but that last 3 queens in position. Third is secure. Nikich once again going for a run by. Shout out to the turtle. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. As Lings, they scout the zealots. Big moment here for Nikich. He is aware, does scout the zealots, and with this, we need some roaches. Roach speed has now begun. Yeah, roach speed begins immediately. Typically, for those curious, in ZvP, you want to be skipping roaches. You want to skip roaches and go straight into Ling Hydra. But there are instances like this where if you scout where you need roaches, we need to build them up. We need roach production immediately here. 8 roaches are on the way. Zealots move out, and I believe they have been scouted. We do see Nikich trying to force the zealots back home. Lings, they hit the mineral line. Zealots, they don't turn around. They go for the expansion. They go for the base. Oh, the queens. Queens have to pull away. Roaches are amassing. Just in time. Base taking a lot of hits. Do we have a transfuse? We do. And there we go. Transfuse will try to keep this alive. Alas, the base will still go down. Not enough transfuse. Not enough energy. Not a bad pickoff. Kills the 4th. 3 base versus 3 base. Alas, it was a backup 4th base. Does finish up. I should say 5th, really. As Nikich did double expand. And behind this, Overlord speed on the way. Nikich, he's cutting workers here at 60. That is under 3 base saturation. What is the plan? It looks like we're going for a Ling, Roach, Queen all in. We're going for a German taxi. Nikich, he is not going to be joining up. He's going for the kill. Again, a very aggressive series so far. A very aggressive game. Storm is almost done. Double immortal production as well. Ooh, Jumy needs a little bit more time, and then he should have enough to defend. Likewise, right now, stasis traps, walls of cannon, shield batteries. He's getting ready for an attack, and Nikich, he obliges. He's going for the all-in, and he's scattered. Big revelation. Station trap's going to be going off here on the Lings. But Nikich, he's arrived at the immortals. Are they ready? They're not quite in position. Lings, they buy some time. They delay the army. Cannon's going to be going down. The storm is done. And roaches, they are tanky, but I mean, they still have to respect the army. There's going to be 3 more storms. Now down to 2, down to 1. Oh, he stands in the storms. He stands in the storms. Nikich, get out of here. Has to pull away. And now he drones. These workers are late. Bear this in mind. This is late droning, late saturation for Nikich. Nikich, he was committed, and alas, it did not work out well for him. And Jumy, as a result, has the greater economy. He's had more workers for longer. Has had better mining. Building out more immortals. Again, remember, double robot production here. Making 2 at a time. Nikich in trouble. Going for a counter-attack. Can he deny the expansion? He can. Whew. Denies the 4th. Does deny the 4th base. Ooh. Storm going up in the Lings. Nikich once again poking in. Spire behind this. I do like the Spire, but oh, we get a full scout. The Oracle does get eyes on everything. And Feast production has begun. Big moment here for Jumy. He's fully aware of what's going on. What I was about to say is that mutas are a good way to bounce back because they're not really heavily reliant on upgrades or anything like that. So despite the fact that Nikich is down in tech, he can still make use of wreaking havoc in the mineral lines. But as I say that, he got scattered, and now we have a second Stargate for double Phoenix production. Now, Nikich, he knows he got scattered. He knows he got scattered. As we can see in the production tab here, he is not making any mutas, not yet. Has the Spire, can make use of it later, but for now, that surprise factor is gone. Oh no! Stasis goes off. Jumy's keeping up. He defends. We'll protect that 4th base. Army does respond as well. Nikich trying to be active. Stuck with Ling, Roach, Ravager. Does have 1/1 upgrades. Storm to the face. Only 1 High Templar though. Dives on the Archon. Gets the Immortal, not bad. Immortal goes down. And takes down the Archon as well. Some high value pickups. At the same time pushing it. Oh my god, the Storms! The Storms do shut him down. Takes down 3 High Templar, but he's gonna lose all these Roaches. Expensive losses for Nikich. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, brutal losses for the Zerg. Nikich pulling away. Building up 19 more Roaches. Taking up into a Hive. I mean, if he can get into Vipers, Vipers would be a key asset here to Nikich to be able to pick away at the Immortals, Blinding Cloud, Abductions. There's potential. And that's what he really has to rely upon. Phoenixes are revealed. We have some Corruptors on the way. Now, bearing in mind, the soup does lie. Nikich, he is up in supply, but it's inflated army supply here with Roaches. Like, it's not a very efficient army. Takes out the Zealots, but fighting these Immortals head on, it's not gonna be easy. There are so many Immortals! 7! Oh god. 7 Immortals, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And still making more Immortals. These Roaches, they do nothing against this army. Corruptors have arrived. Behind this, we have a Fleet Beacon into Sky Toss. Jumy gearing up for a longer game state. And Nikich is in a lot of trouble here. The reality is that he's still down in workers. He's just now joining up to 80. Again, late saturation for Nikich. Hive is done. We need those Vipers. For now, going into a Greater Spire. Okay, that would be another solution. True. Broodlords. The problem, though, is again, he needs time. He needs time for Broodlord production. Time that I don't think Jumy's going to give him. Corruptors into the main. Jumy's pushing. What's he moving out with? He's moving out with 9 Immortals and 10 High Templar. Big counterattack. Nikich forcing Jumy back home. Gets a kill. Gets a kill, not a cancel. Jumy, he races back. Going for another expansion. Snipes both faces. Now, this is good damage. He does kill 2 Nexus. But the problem here is that he may have just poked the bear. He may have just poked Jumy a little bit too much. And now here comes the counterattack. And Jumy's main army cannot be stopped. Not by this. Like, the reality, no! As Nikich, he cannot fight this head on, bleeding out most of his army. Like, the Roach Ravager is just gonna melt. Like, it just crumbles before this heavy Immortal count. Nikich has to buy time for Broodlords, if at all possible. There's 1 Corruptor left. There's no Broodlords. And at this point, Jumy, he can just A-move. Even without Storms, he can just mow through this army. Mow down this army. But with the Storms, I mean, it's even more devastating. It's oh no. As Jumy's pushing in, Nikich trying to keep up. Oh, the Biles! They graze the army. Jumy takes the Biles to the face. It's like he likes the Biles to the face. Like, it's it's still fine. Oh no. Storms are brutal. Biles once again, 1 Immortal almost goes down. He almost gets 1. Almost. Results in the middle line. Drone's going to be falling. The economy's being crippled. We have that 1 Broodlord. Let's go. And yeah, the army melts. Like, the Roach Ravager just cannot touch this. Cannot touch this army. GG, and Jumy snowballs out of control, taking game number 1. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Nikich, he eventually was dealing some good damage, don't get me wrong, but he could never deal with that main army. We just had hit critical mass of Immortal, hit a critical mass of High Templar. Nikich, of course, was going for all-ins previously, which did fail. He wasn't quite able to break Jumy, and with that, Jumy did snowball out of control, taking a lead in the series. Does take a lead. And now we are getting into game number 2. Some bets, yeah, they were open. They were open. And now we're going to be loading into one of the other TLMC maps in the map pool. Go. I'm still waking up. Still waking up. But yes, up next we're going to be loading into Erahome. Erahome is, I would say, a more aggressive map. One of the more aggressive maps in the new added maps in the map pool. Short rush distance by ground, has very defendable locations, but we'll see if we can make use of those locations, or if Nikich can snowball out of control instead. I'm hoping for an ace match, I'm hoping for a back and forth. We'll see if we can get there. We shall see. As we're just getting our players ready here. Telling you, my hair's getting rowdy. Like God. I feel like I just had a haircut. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, the entirety of the round of 16 has concluded, so the round of 8 is upon us. A lot of matches getting underway. And we'll be catching up after this series. Catching up with those matches. We'll be, of course, diving into the semifinals. We'll be lucky enough to catch, or we should be able to catch both semifinals. Bear that in mind. So, plenty more series up next. Plenty more. Here we go. Otherwise, hope you've all been enjoying yourselves. Hope you all had a great time here. And oh, before I get ahead of myself, I should also announce this. I'm okay announcing this. I'm sure Mike BT is as well. Is that we have a confirmation that we have secured funding for Tenacious Turtle Tussle number 27 and onwards as well, at least for the near future. Again, one of the reasons why we started and we brought back this event. One of the reasons why we brought back this event was actually because of the EPT off-season. As you can imagine, we were one of the first alongside the Ursa Source Cup at the time and the Woody TV Monday when it comes to returning and hosting events during that EPT off-season. You know, in the absence of ESL or ESL Mondays, the ESL Open Cups, we had events like the KSRC, which now has been replaced by the Monday weeklies, likewise the Woody TV Monday, and events like this, events like the Tenacious Turtle Tussle. So we have stepped in to, of course, help support the scene, to help kind of fill in that void that was left by the ESL Open Cups. So big shout to Mark BT and to all the other event organizers as well for, you know, running these weeklies, running these tournaments, to make sure that the players, they have an event to play for, to fight for in the off season. So let's go. So again, that was the reason why the Turtle Tussle made its return. For those that are curious, this is a tournament that did begin quite some time ago. Actually, back in 2023 is when this event did begin. But back in the day, it was a very different iteration of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle. It was a regional event. We had this as a bi-weekly tournament that was region locked to the regions of Oceania and the Americas, like North America and Latin America. But interest in it did kind of wane over time. There wasn't as many signups. There wasn't as many players competing for it. Now in its, you know, new and improved form, it is open to all. Open to players from Korea, open to players from Europe as well. So open to all regions. Open to all shapes and sizes. At a bit of a better time slot for players from the Americas, true. I mean, again, shout out to the Europeans that do compete in this event just because the passion is real. I know it's quite late, whether you're a player, whether you're a viewer. I know depending on the way you are, it is, you know, like midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. It's not easy. Not easy playing in these tournaments. So much love, much love. Thank you. Thank you for competing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And also, get some sleep. Get some rest, man. Get some rest. Aye. But we appreciate it. We appreciate it. As here we go, you can hear the beeps, and we are loading into game number 2. Just need a moment to set things up for it. We're jumping into game 2, and I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping for a back and forth. Let's see if we can get there. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Erahome, we have the German Protoss player, the Green Protoss, representing Streamer Zone, leading the series 1-0. It is Jumy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player from Atlanta, Belarus, currently teamless, but deserving to be on the team. It is Nikich. Here we go. And again, welcome one and all to one of the newer maps to at least this tournament map pool here. Welcome to Erehome. Again, just to reiterate, we have removed the older maps. We have removed Abyssal Reef, Neon Violet Square, and King's Cove, and we have added 3 newer TLMC maps instead, referring to Erehome, referring to Starchild, as well as Talisman as well. We've done so not just ourselves, but also events like the Pegasaur Weekly, alongside the Monday Weeklies, which I believe is hosted by TKL, and the KSL as well. And again, we just wanted to take the initiative of featuring some of these other TLMC maps, and also featuring some of the TLMC finalists in the upcoming season of Team Liquid Map Contest. That is the hope, that is the plan, to get eyes on some of these otherwise newer maps. I do know that Wardy, for example, does host specific TLMC tournaments to feature them, but it would be nice if we also could feature at least some of them as well, coming into the new season, coming into the new contest. Just to spread awareness and get eyes on, you know, some of these maps that a lot of people put in a lot of hard work into when it comes to designing them, whether it's visual design or even, you know, straight up balance design as well. And welcome. Now, something I did mention before, very small map. very short rush distance by ground here from end to end. But to make up for how direct and how short the rush distance is, I mentioned before, there are a lot of these kind of defendable locations, areas where you can engage ahead of time. Whether it's here in the center, whether it's here further back towards the third base, and here towards the natural as well. There's a ramp coming into the natural, there's a ramp coming into the third, and there's a choke point in the center of the map as well. So even though the rush distance by ground is short, there are these locations where as a defender, you can try to take the initiative, you can attack and engage ahead of time to try to stem the tide, slow down the push, and take some better fights as the defender, having that defender's advantage. So there is a bit of a give and take, bits of a give and take. Despite that, though, we have seen a lot of queen walks across the map, for example. We've seen a lot of German taxis on Erehome, and we could see Nikich embrace that as well. I mean, last game we did see an attempted all-in off of 3 bases. It was a bit of a later all-in at a Nikich in that last game. We could see something earlier here. As Jumy is being active, do have 2 adepts going to be skirting around the right-hand side. 2 adepts, of course, they can one-shot workers, and they make their way into the main. So far, Nikich does keep up. It does zone the adepts away. Nicely done. Does zone them back. Say that Jumy trying to be cheeky here, hiding in the natural. The natural's quite large, but last links, they do find this. They do find the adepts, and they will shut them down. Oh, attempting us around. And they will lock down the adepts. They shade into the main, forced to recall. The adepts, they will escape. They will get away. They do recall in time. Jumy getting his 3rd. Last time, of course, Nikich was able to shut this down and force a cancel. Not this time. This time the Oracle was pinned back at home. Interesting, that is an early Twilight Council. Early Twilight Council out of Jumy. Jumy, he delayed his own 2nd Oracle in favor of the Twilight Council as well. And the question becomes, what's it going to be? Now, typically with a Twilight Council this early on, this could be Glaive Adepts, but Jumy has been enjoying a cheeky kind of like charge all-in here that has been going for, that has been mixing in. Did work wonders against a laser. We'll see if it works wonders here against Nikich, assuming that it's going to be charged. Likewise, this could also be early Glaives. It could also be early Blink. True. I mean, there are different varying builds here that we can embrace. Show us what you got. As a reminder, no Forge. Oh, delayed Forge even. With a later Forge, I'm leaning more away from Glaive Adepts, as Glaives don't really benefit from the Forge itself, but we'll see. As Jumy does threaten the shade. Oh. Forge Robo into... No, I was going to say Temple Archives, never mind. Blink is on the way, so this is going to be a safer build here out of Jumy. This does make sense specifically on Erehome. I mentioned before that this map is known for like German taxis and queen walks across the maps and all-ins, so it makes sense here for Jumy to play safe. What I mean by safe here, eventually he's working towards +1 and towards the mid game, but if it was going to be a roach all-in, because Blink is starting up so fast, so quickly, Blink will finish up in time to defend against an all-in, if one were to occur. Meanwhile, Depths are going to be cleaned up. They shade into the natural. They get one drone, just the one drone. Nikich holds behind this. Lair is now done. We're skipping Roaches, going straight to Hydra. It's going to be Ling Hydra out of Nikich. Bold move for the Zerg player to skip out on Roaches on a map as small as this, but he does call correctly here. If Jumy was going for Glaives, if he was going for Charge, then Nikich would have been in trouble, but Nikich, he will get away with skipping out on Banelings and Roaches. He does get away with purely Ling Queen. Behind this, getting a 4th base. Jumy, he is applying pressure. Remember, Blink is not done. This is a risky maneuver here by Jumy. But the Oracles are here to support. And Nikich is being forced back. Nikich is being forced back. The Lings, they engage, they catch out one of the Stalkers. One Stalker goes down. Link is almost done. Jumy's setting up, throwing down 2 stasis traps, denying the creep, going for the 4th base. Hydras, though, they have arrived. Stasis baited out. Oh, Hydra's moving in, forcing the blink. And with that, Nikich is holding. So far, so good. He is holding on. Jumy rotating behind this. Jumy throwing down extra gateways, getting to +1, getting to Colossus production as well, which would be ideal against the Ling Hydra. Another safe trap getting baited. Or connecting. Oh. Clutch pull away. Stalker goes down. Nikich saves the queen. Save the queen. Nikich starts stepping forward. 30 more links coming in behind this. Nikich not really saturating the 4th base, only using it for larva. He's going for the kill. And he has potential, but he's pushing into a Colossus. That's a problem here. There's 1 Colossus so far. We have 2 more on the way. Stasis goes up. Nikich starts stepping in. Nice force fields. It does slow down the Hydras. Yeah, they get locked away. Only a handful of Hydras do start step forward. He wants that Colossus, and he's not going to get it. Oh, it's going to be close. Up. He wants it. Oh my god. Gasith. Barely not. A lot of Hydras go down in the process, but the Colossus is getting very low. And once again, goes to dive, brings it down. No shield dive. Shield dives are finished up 1 second too late. Shield dives are falling, 3rd base is being broken, and Nikich, he's here to force the ace match. He breaks into the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. The Colossus, they arrive a couple of seconds too late. There's no support. Another Colossus goes down. There's 1 Colossus left, and the 3rd base should crumble. Nikich, he's not going down without a fight. Not going down. Breaks expansion. 3rd base does fall. You can see Jumy expanding towards the top side. He's going to be able to hold on with that Colossus. We can see Nikich looking for another base, looking for another expansion. Doesn't find it yet. Rotating over, and Jumy barely has an army. He's got, what, 3 Stalkers and a Sentry? He's got Copium. I mean, 2 Colossus, true. 2 Colossus, I mean, they're terrifying, but he lost 24 probes here in the defense. Ay. From here, Nikich, he can drone, and he is. He's droning up. We have a +1 in range on the way. We have a Lurker down on the way as well. Hive is in production. Nikich building up and just securing himself, making sure he doesn't fall behind tech-wise. Working towards Hydra, Lurker, Viper. What I will say is that Nikich, if he was aware, he could have rotated and could have tried to hit this expansion and kept pushing. But this is not the wrong move to go for here. Nikich is securing himself, droning, teching, taking more gases, and Lurker production has begun. The Lair Tech Lankers. Oh, 8 Lurkers on the way. Jumy building up towards G3, 4 Colossus. Oh my god. I mean, if Nikich tried to all in now here at the 3rd base, Jumy, he'd be able to hold on. Depending on the positioning, of course. But the 4 Colossus, that's crazy. Ling Hydra's gonna melt. Gets us around, takes down the Zealot. Do you see what I see? No detection. No detection for Jumy. Uh-oh. Okay, the Observer's on the way. He breaks in. Oh, pulls back. Waiting for the Observer. Observer has arrived. The last Lurkers, they do reposition. Remember, there's no upgrades with Lurkers yet. There's no range, there's no adaptive talons. First Viper's on the way. Nikich respecting the army, doesn't dive in. Very disciplined play here from Nikich. Going for a Ling Rumbai, getting a 5th base. Nikich forcing a defensive warp in, keeping up with the rotations. As the expansion, it is going to go down. Ooh, that's a kill. That's a kill, not a cancel. Nikich once again counter-attacking. Lurker range is now done, that the talent's still on the way. And Nikich is just waiting for those Vipers. Viper even. As the first Viper has arrived, it's got some decent energy on it. Ready for the abduction. Lings, they flood in. That's a lot of lasers. That's a lot of lasers. Nice force fields. This Viper has to be so careful. Oh, nice feedback. Speaking of being careful, feedback on the Viper. Jumy, he is holding on. More Lurkers morphing in. And the force fields are good, but there's no more energy here for more force fields. Disruptors have arrived. Nova's going up. Ooh, massive connection. Uh-oh. And despite the fact that Jumy's been down like 40, 50 army supply, he's catching up. He's trading well. But the Lunkers, they're still moving in. Lings, they deny the expansion. Lurkers now getting within range of the base. Oof. Again, those Novas have been brutal. How many so far? 7 Lurkers have gone down. But despite that, we cannot engage. The base should fall. The Prism. Oh, Prism survives. But the Concave is just too great. And Jumy, he evacuates. He abandons the third. 15, 16, 17 probes going down. Novas once again. This time they do not connect. And Jumy is stuck on 2 bases. Nikich picking up, rotating. Once again, based on the trades we've seen, Jumy, he can still survive. Up. I like this though. Disruptor goes down. Nova's going up. Ooh. To connect. Yo, love to see the lunge, lunging away from that Nova. Nikich preserving some of those Hydras. Jumy is pushing in. Sorry, Nikich is pushing in. At least trying to. Jumy attempting to hold on to the space. Alas, I believe we have not made any Vipers. We've not remade any Vipers. Here we go. The Viper has arrived. Going for the abduction. Can we get it up? Oh, no. God damn it. Every time the Viper comes in, we just feedback. But Jumy is locked out. He's locked out of his own natural. Nikich can just push in. Up, catching a disruptor. And Jumy at this point may just have to go for the base trade. Yeah, just going for a massive counterattack. Ooh, massive connections with those Novas. Just breaking through. Yeah, this is the only chance for Jumy is the base trade. Lurkers, a race back home. In position. Should take a storm to the face. Novas as well. Connections. Novas, they pop up. Hydras, they break through the natural. Jumy, he's down to 13 probes. Ultras have arrived. Okay. Ultras have arrived. They're lacking upgrades, but hey, they have kindness plating. Yeah, it's better than nothing. This Hydra's at the third. Nova goes off. Ooh, massive connection. But the Ultras are here. They can tank the Novas. They can tank the Storms. At least somewhat. And the Hydras, they come in from behind. They subset 4. They get 1. They get 2. They get 3. They get everything. And Jumy crumbles. GG gets called. And Nikich ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. We're going all the way to game 3. Whew. Oh my god. We're going all the way to game 3 here. And we'll see how this story ends. We'll see how this story does end. As, yeah, Nikich is able to fight back. Again, able to initially shut down the main army. If you recall, was able to strike Jumy before Colossus were ready. before the Colossus were ready, before we had really hit a critical mass of Colossus. I think the first one had arrived, but only one. With that, Nikich, he was able to commit to his own all-in, to his own aggression on 3 bases. Remember, it was 60 drones. 60 drones, Ling Hydra. He was able to break the 3rd base and snowball from there. Jumy, he did have some good moments, don't get me wrong, with his high Colossus count, with his Purification Novas as well, but he was outpositioned. He was zoned away from his own 3rd base. He couldn't protect it, and he was just starved out over time, just losing base after base after base. And with that, GG. GG, well played. Whew. Jumy, Nikich does tie things up, and now we're going all the way to the ace match. We're getting into the ace match here. Up next, we have another one of our newer maps, another TLMC map by Maras, by the way. Maras, of course, a renowned map maker. If I'm not mistaken, known for is it Nightwish? Known for naming their maps after Nightwish songs. I think so, right? Or am I thinking of someone else? I believe so. So Starchild is coming up next. The dedication. Ah, beautiful. Here we go. Yeah, jumping into game 3. Now, this is one of the larger maps. This is a larger map, and the map pool is a larger map. Bear that in mind. So we go from small to large. Let's go. Oh no. We're about to jump in, and Jumy's like, hold on. There's a Clash of Clans attack going on. Oh god. Yeah, we good. Good to go. Esther Jumy. How is the QA on these maps? I believe outside of the QA that goes through the iteration process in TLMC, I don't think there's any additional QA that goes on these maps, is what I will say. I'm sure if there were any issues that arise, they'd be reported, of course, but we haven't come across any yet, thankfully, or yeah, so far. So we are settling in. So we are getting into game number 3. We've made it to the ace match. Made it all the way to game 3. Let's go. And again, we've casted quite a lot on this map so far. If you recall, we previously casted Dark versus Shin on this map in a ZvP. Likewise, been casting Hero, of course, as well. That was during the Pigasaur Monday. So excited to see another PvZ here in Tenacious Turtle Tussle. Actually, I don't think I've casted a Terran on this map yet. No Terran, just Zergs and Protoss. Not yet. And hopefully everything is okay. Likewise, Jumy going for his own gate expand. There we go, we're back. We are back. So I do apologize. I do apologize for the stream going down, but it should be up running and should be stable. It should be good to go. Should be back. Okay. There we go. For whatever reason, Twitch servers wanted to die on us for like a second. We are here. We are back. And again, so far, Hatchcast full standard opener at Nikich. Likewise, Jumy going for his own standard opener as well. And welcome one and all to Starchild. I do apologize for the stream going down for a moment there. That for whatever reason, the stream just died and then came back. Hopefully, we're able to preserve everyone. Hopefully, everyone's able to come back. Otherwise, come back, come back. Otherwise, we'll see you during the VODs. For now, welcome one and all to StarCraft. Very large map in the map pool. Very wide open spaces towards the fringe areas as well, towards the left and right hand sides of the map. In the center, there are rocks, there are a lot of choke points, there are a lot of ramps as well, so it can be a little bit more difficult to engage in the center. But on the fringe sides, towards the left and right hand side, we do have a lot of attack paths that we do see used quite heavily here to try to lay siege upon the 3rd, 4th, and 5th bases. And we might end up in a longer game state again because of the longer rush distance by ground. Players are incentivized to go for more economic builds instead of going for more aggressive and assertive ones instead. Depth has arrived. Stargate Opener into Void Ray, not into Oracle. Interesting choice here by Jumy. Because the map is so large, I can see Jumy attempting to go Void Ray Opener into Fleet Beacon into Sky Toss. Can see that occurring. The Void Ray is on the way to hunt down the Overlords and to hide the tech, more importantly. It's going to be all about hiding tech. As Jumy's in a position to expand, to take the 3rd. Jumy is in position. 3rd base on the way. Nikich, he's amassing some links to hopefully try to delay the 3rd. Is building up and moving out. Likewise, Void Ray's on the way. Does catch an Overlord. Earlier, Twilight Council out of Jumy. Now, we saw last game it was a safe kind of blink-based opener out of Jumy. We'll see if that's like... I don't think it's necessary here on Starchild, so I'm curious as to what it's going to be. Nikich getting supply blocked. Lings, they dive in, they get 1, they get 2 down. Lair is on the way. Is on the way. As Lings, they pull back home. Again, they traded well for themselves, picking up some of those adepts, but last they aren't quite able to force a cancel on the expansion. Nikich falls back, droning, saturating behind this. Yep, there it is. It's not going to be blink, it's going to be charge. Charge, delayed, forge into +1, into more aggressive style here out of Jumy. There's going to be a big timing here with that +1 upgrade. Jumy's gearing up for Charge La Archon. Meanwhile, Nikich happily droning. Just saturating, getting his 3rd base, soon to be getting a 4th base as well. Overlord goes down, supply blocking Nikich. Ay. Does get supply blocked. From here, Nikich can take his 4th, of course. There he goes on the way. And we'll see if he can hold on to it as the Void Ray is en route. Have the Oracle on the right, Void Ray on the left. Adepts are likewise moving. Sorry, Zealot's likewise moving out with charge. A very early move out here from Jumy. Hoping to catch Nikich with his pants down. Zealot's whirling across the map. Void Ray gets turned away. Here comes Jumy. Jumy heads towards the 3rd. Heads towards the natural even. Lings they to engage. Queens they come into support. Zealots they are breaking through those Lings though. And we need more. We need more Lings, more Hydras. Again, this is the power here of this timing. Catching Nikich while he was droning. And the Queens get surrounded. Hydra, they fall back just in time. And with that, Nikich, he will hold. He will hold, saves the Queen. Saves the Queens, saves the drones, defends the base. But we're not done. More Zealots have arrived going for the Queens. And they're off creep. No transfuse. No transfuse available. Catching 1, 2, 3 high energy Queens as well. Very nice pickups. The Queens go down. And can Jumy get the expansion? He can. He can and he will. Oof. 4th base goes down. There's the recall. Zealot rabbis, they continue. Despite how large the map is, Jumy doesn't care. The Zealots don't care either. They bring down the 4th. Nikich in a rough position. Jumy behind this getting his own 4th base far faster. Is going to be getting ahead economically. Nikich is moving out. Committing to mass Hydra. Lings coming in behind this. We go. Storm is not yet ready. True. Stasis. Oh no! Does he notice? He does. Whew, he does notice. Does knows what's going on. Zealous this time they get caught out. Nikich he holds, he defends. He's holding. Alright, whereas Jumy establishing that at 4th base. Storm is now ready. And Nikich is taking up. He's droning, getting a hive, working towards lurkers. But again, the 4th base is heavily delayed here. Nikich double expanding. He needs to. Takes another stasis. And again, this is the power of Protoss in the latest patch here. Just the mass stasis traps time and time again. The wall of cannons and shield batteries. Jumy is secure. And taking up into Skytoss. +1 air attack on the way. And Nikich needs to get ready for that late game. So we are embracing a later game state here. Now, Jumy, despite having +1 air attack, I believe it doesn't have a... I was going to say it doesn't have a fleet beacon yet. Fleet beacon has begun, but this is going to be a later transition into Skytoss. Despite that, though, Jumy is moving out. Lurkers are not ready. They're not ready! Uh-oh. They just started. They just began. And Jumy, he can try to break Nikich before they're prepared. Storm's coming in. Hyde is being forced back. He sees the lurkers. He wants them. Oh my god, massive storms. The lurkers, they're being denied. There's 3 lurkers left. 3 lurkers, they barely morphed in time. But that was a brutal loss here for Nikich. Losing so many lurkers ahead of time. That was the final storm. The lurkers trying to move in. They're gonna go down. Yeah, they're gonna go down. Jumy's done it. He breaks through. Just in time. GG gets caught. Nikich, he needed a couple more seconds, a little bit more. The lurkers that were not ready, and Jumy, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semifinals. GG. GG, well played. Nikich, he barely just wasn't ready in time. He had the lurkers on the way. Was it like 10 lurkers morphing in? But it was too little too late. They were morphing in too close to the battlefield as well, too close to the main army. And Jumy, once he noticed them, he dove in. He dove in. The mass storm jumped on those lurkers. 3 of them finished, but I mean, it didn't matter. There were only 3 of them. They could not support themselves. And with that, Jumy ends it before the late game, before a longer game state. GG. GG, well played. Oh. GG, well played. With that, Jumy does advance on to the semifinals, and we are heading up to... We are going to be heading over to the Americas region for the upper semifinals first. Let's go. We have a lot of catching up to do here, as a lot has been going on off stream. Here we go.